Big Strappers, welcome to the moment you've all been waiting for. Today, we have an exclusive interview with the man, the myth, the legend himself, the Lettuce King. Today's interview is going to be all about truck talk, and we're even going to have an exclusive Lettuce King story from the Lettuce King himself. Today's video is actually going to be a listening only experience, so put on those headphones, kick back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
A truck driver's job is to drive the truck. But some guys are electronically challenged, like me. So it's nice when FleetNav comes up with an ELD system that's simple and easy to work for everybody. Have a look at these guys. They've got tutorials on the website. Check them out. I highly recommend them.
Hello.
Hello, driver. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
I just want to check it's okay if we record this. It's for your audience and your fans out there.
Sure. Go ahead. Hopefully it's a good enough connection that you can hear me okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you fine. Now, we got to control the potty talk, but I'm sure we'll manage to get through it okay.
Well, I'll do my best. I am a truck driver after all.
Yeah, that's my problem too, but we'll struggle through it as best we can.
As long as if you beep it and put little beeps and things in it, it'll be okay.
Well, that's beyond me. That would be up to the engineer, but oh well. But
yeah.
Listen, back in the day, like that was the large car spec was 6 and a 4. That's what you always spec. Was there a reason that you liked those transmissions, or it was just nostalgic more?
Well, it's the cool factor for me. I mean, although I like driving them for sure, but I mean, my V8 one was a pain in the ass like that too, because it seemed that every time I just had a shower, I'd jam the auxiliary, and I'd do the same thing, man. I'd have to coast to the side of the road, get underneath it with a big long bar, and give it a little click, and out it would come. I was going to cut the hole in the floor and put a trap door in the floor so I could do it from inside. It used to piss me off so bad. But it never failed, you know? Like, you could go a week without a shower and have not a problem. And then the minute you had a shower and got cleaned up, it always happened, and it was always at the worst place. You know, like I loaded some stuff on my step deck once in Mississippi, and I had to like back road it all the way up to West Memphis, and it had to be about 180 degrees. It was ridiculous outside. I was just melting. So after I did the parade lap through the parking lot and found the optimum cool parking spot to park my truck in, I went in and had a shower, got all cleaned up, rolled back out through the parking lot, signed a few 8x10 glossies on my way out the gate. You know how we roll. And I just get on the ramp, heading eastbound there, come up. I didn't even get through the boxes and jammed her up and had to run her all the way through Memphis, like with auxiliary stuck in third gear. And you know, I didn't have enough gears to really get going, and I couldn't pull over there, and so I just kind of putting around and, you know, doing that right hand lane slow roll like I'm looking cool, like I'm doing it on purpose, you know. But yeah, and then, you know, I get out underneath the truck, and I'm like, I fucking that beep, you know. I had to slide under with my fresh shower, laying on the asphalt, unjamming a set of boxes.
I think I remember you telling me about that. Now, refresh my memory. I didn't have a whole lot of experience with those, but they were, reverse was top left in the main box, and first was dead below it, right?
Yes. No. Well, it depends on which one you had.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
Because the 6-speeds, there's like 2 or 3 different 6-speed models and different gear ratios, and the 5-speeds were different again. But yeah, gotta think here. No, yeah, you're right. The 6-speed is 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is up by itself, and then 5's backing over like a 15-speed and up against the dash.
Yeah, that's how I remember it too. Yep, no, that's exactly how I.
Yeah. Then you had me all messed up there for a minute there. I was thinking, but yeah, and the auxiliary's the same way.
up against the
like
dash.
like a U-shaped pattern for the auxiliary.
Yep, exactly.
But,
So my new one, I shouldn't have that problem because I got a cable shifter on the new one.
oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I got cables. Peterbilt had this other setup almost at the end where instead of it being, even the tower's different. The old ones, they used to have two rods basically in a housing, and the stick would pivot into these little grooves and move whichever rod forwards and backwards. And the new ones are basically on the end of your stick. There's like a T with two little tits on it, and when you pull it to the one side, it makes the other side go up, and it locks in a groove, and you can only move the one forwards and backwards. And you move it the other way, and it does the opposite. So you can't jam it. Like it doesn't have the same feel as the rods, but it's probably, well, I'll let you know how it works out when I start driving it.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was such a thing. I never heard of that. That's cool.
Yeah, Bookie's truck had that in it. You remember his truck?
Yes, I do. Yep. I didn't know that about his truck. But
yeah, Bookie's truck was cable shift too.
Whatever happened to that truck?
My buddy Kenny Thompson bought it, and off of Bookie, I put him onto that, and then he hauled scrap with it out of Aurelia for a little while. And he had a driver in it, and the same deal. The driver whined that it was hard to drive, and he traded it in for a Western Star.
Oh,
So then it was at Barrie at Western Star, and to make it even worse, he traded it in for a used Ontario potato truck.
Wow.
So anyway, so then along comes the superstar of the highway, Billy Baker, who bought the truck, and that was the one that he made with I think he had a chopped top on it and put that single bunk, and it had that funky paint job all over it.
Oh,
Remember that? Was
yeah, I didn't know that was Bookie's old truck.
So that was Bookie's truck, and then he sold it to some guy in Michigan, I believe. And after that, I don't really know where it went.
Oh, I didn't know the history of that. I lost track. Bookie parked it in that diner, behind that diner, and it sat there for like a year, and after that, I lost track.
Yeah.
I didn't know what happened to it. But
no, that's where it went. I actually seen Billy last year at Clifford, too. He's got a really cool A model. Not only the Western Star, but he's got this A model. It's pretty, it's like a survivor type truck. You know, it's like rough around the edges, but it's a cool ride for sure. It was I think he said it was a V8 truck or a KT truck, and he took it out and put a 4 1/4 in it. So it's a neat truck, extended hood, A model, neat thing. So,
hey, speaking of the 3408s, I know that's one of your favorite motors. You didn't do that this time around, eh?
I was going to put a 3412 in it.
Good God.
That was what, and I had one all lined up out of a gen set, and that was kind of always one of those things I was going to do even after I had the V8 and the extended hood truck, was that it was just like, man, there's so much extra room underneath this hood. I got it, And then with me being in cahoots with Rick Plowman, he had that one in the Great Lakes truck. Do you remember that red extended hood?
Yeah.
379?
Yeah.
And it had a twin turbo air-to-air 3412 in it.
Wow. And
with a set of sticks in it and 355s.
Good Lord.
Yeah, go figure, eh?
Yeah.
So when I was doing this truck, but then I built this truck because I was going to work it. And I got thinking, as cool as it's going to be to have a 3412, if there had been a 3408, like sitting down the street, I probably would have done it, because mine, I got like 5 miles a gallon out of my 3408. It was, and people will go, oh, that's bullshit, but yeah, that's what it got. 4.5, 5. It was good enough for me. So I would have done that just for that whole cool thing. But now, after having even the 400 in it, it's pretty skinny under there. I mean, I know you can do it. Another guy that I'm friends with on social media there, Denny there, he's got a buddy with a 52 with a V8 in it, and it's pretty tight. But
I bet.
Yeah, so that's why I just kept the old reliable 3406 in there, was because I've just always had good luck, and
Yeah, I can't go wrong with those.
no, and I have my magic box of tricks that I can make those things rock and roll, so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah.
So
Now you told me you stretched the hood 8 over stock, right?
8 inches over extended hood, yeah.
So are you gonna, like, where's the rad in relation to the motor? Is the rad like up against the grill, or is it set back in there?
The rad is the grill.
The rad is the grill. So there's a gap between the engine fan and the rad?
No, the motor's right up the front.
So the gap's behind the engine.
Yep. Yeah, like you could stand on top of my transmission and change the light bulbs on your clearance lights.
Okay, so that answered my question about how you're going to keep the motor cool. Have you ever run into guys that had like the rad set back in behind the grill like a foot or two, and they ended up running like electric fans and stuff?
Well, Denny's truck is like that. If you look it up on Facebook, he calls it the bad bitch, and it's like flat black, and his motors move back. And Silvo's first one that he did, if you remember that yellow one, it was like that, and he had electric fans, and he never had any cooling issues with it.
No?
No, but I mean, all the ones that I've done, I've always moved the cab and everything back and left the motors up the front.
You just find that works out better for you?
Well, when you're building shit in your driveway, that's just the way I've done it. It's not so much it works better. It was just always, easier for me to do it that way. So, some of them, I got a bit of a system for that now. It's not so bad to do. I mean, the last one, the green one, I did a lot more extensively than I did the other ones. But the other ones, I pretty much just unbolted the cab and the brackets and everything and put a floor jack underneath it, the front cab mount, and then just rolled it back right on the frame.
All right.
And then re-drilled all the holes. Where this one, this truck I got now is just a whole other ball game altogether.
Huh.
So.
Well, tell everybody what you're planning to do about moving to Yuma and everything with your trailer. I think that's a cool plan.
Oh well, my trailer that I'm building, it's like an old race team trailer, and so I'm building living quarters in the front 24 feet of it, and basically my plan is to stack my toys in the back, my Torino and my Challenger and my bike up and in there, and go and sit out in the desert, and where I can be by myself and no one will bother me, and I can wait for the zombie apocalypse to pass us by. So
I think that's a great plan.
That's as long as you keep rubber underneath you, they can't tax you too bad. So I figured,
true.
I'm just going to load up all my dearly belongings and hook her up and head her south.
Kathy showed me the pictures of the kitchen after you get it all put together in the trailer. Man, you did a nice job. It looks good.
Yeah, I was just in the middle of sawing out this other cabinet for my fridge and everything out of this motorhome here. So I get that in there, then the kitchen will be done. And I got, some stuff to go up in the bedroom. And when that's all done, I have a friend of mine that has a hardwood flooring refinishing business. If I knew the actual name, I'd give him a good plug here. But he's going to come down and finish all the hardwood in the front and the back where the car goes. So that should be pretty sexy too when it's all done. So yeah, she should be pretty large when it's all painted. You'll definitely probably see me going down the road. I don't think I'll slide by you without you noticing it.
I imagine that everyone's pretty anxious to see this latest truck on the road, and you figure like first, second week of April, sometime in there.
Yeah, that's when I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it home. It's up at Wingham at Stretch's place there, and I floated it up there in September, and then did a big push to finish it up between there and Christmas time. So I pretty much lived at Stretch's place on weekends and the whole Christmas holidays, and got to see my mom for about 3 hours. And and then knocked her out there and went back to work in January, and I got this trailer moved here in January, so I've been 4-bore on this because I wanted the inside done while the weather was crap, so when it gets nicer, I can paint it here. And because I had big plans on going south the 1st of May, but I think that's kind of going by the wayside by the look of the borders and everything getting canceled. So I got a little bit more time on my hands now to finish her up, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of put a delay in your time schedule. Quite the deal, eh?
Yeah, it is. It's something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime, that's for sure. But you know, I mean, if you want to look at the positives, as my mother says, I mean, they've canceled all the events that I was in a big hurry to get to. So now I've got nothing but time on my hands. So you know, I'll be able to get her done and painted and done the way I want it.
Yeah.
When I roll in there, you know.
Yeah, do it the right way, no rush.
Yeah. So and I've got BASF's going to help me out with some paint for the wagon, so that'll be kind of cool.
Yeah,
so,
you were saying that's a good deal.
Yeah, well, I have a friend that's in the department there, so you know, he can pull some strings, and you know, it's not really like a sponsorship or something like that. Although, you know, we've talked about it with my car and stuff like that, of doing it again in that. But you know, we'll see if I ever get around to doing that again. I don't know.
Hey, before I forget to ask you this, and I'm sure you've seen it, I was cruising the Four States website the other day, and I see they've got like a fake 2-stick setup. I gather the second stick is the splitter, and that's all it does. Have you seen that?
I can't even say anything that's politically correct about how they shifter in your truck.
Well, that was my first reaction. I thought, I don't know. I think that's pretty fake. I don't like fake stuff, but I guess all sorts of guys are doing it. It's a popular thing. It looks goofy to me, but oh well. But I thought it was funny they came out with it in the first place. All these guys dying to have 2 sticks.
I guess if you need to have a second stick that bad and you're like a cross-country rolling tranny show, that, you know, or something like that, but, you know, that's a real sore spot with me. It's like, you know, if you want a 2-stick that bad, you know, pony up and do the work, you know, and it's even like my car, you know, the car show circuit, and, you know, I put it's got a Lenko. My car's got a Lenko in it. With, you know how the old Pro Stocks had like the whole bank of shifters?
Yeah.
Well, you know, again, I shouldn't say that. That's really bad. Some people decided that the shifters look cool, but they're too cheap and they don't want to put the work in to have one of those transmissions. So they make a fake Lenko shifter called a Kilduff, and it's you know, they used to put those things in. Remember the old Hurst Olds had the fake 3-shifter? You know, guys want the look, but they don't want to put you know, they don't want to either spend the dough, because that tranny's like $12,000. You know, and you don't even want to know what it's going to cost you to put a set of sticks in your truck these days if you don't have them already. So, you know, if you don't have them, you don't have them. Like, but the thing is that it's so stupid. You know, I had a guy here the other day that rolled up, and I'm not going to mention any names who he is, but he rolled up to my house there, you know, to see somebody else, my renter here. He was driving this Kenworth, and I was looking at it kind of from afar because I didn't want too many people seeing that I was looking at this Kenworth. And he opens up the door. He goes, "Hey, look, it's got 2 sticks." I go, "What is that? That must be a fake set." No, that's real. I go, "Bullshit." I said, "You forget who you're talking to. I'm gonna roll." You know, sure enough, I roll. He goes, "Oh, don't get under there. It's all greasy and dirty, and you'll get there." Yeah, don't worry. I've been greasy and dirty before, chum. I roll underneath there. No extra box under there. I said, "You just lost about 4 demerit points on the cool scale right there."
This guy at the Kenworth was trying to pass it off as a real setup?
Yep. Yeah, and especially, I mean, you know, maybe you could pass that off at Walmart to a bunch of grandmas on the parking lot. You know, I'm the wrong guy to be picking that story with.
Yeah. Just like the Pro.
Oh yeah. A little out of practice there, man.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Kathy wants you to tell your favorite 3408 Lettuce King story. Somebody you embarrassed probably is what she's talking about. Have you got one like that?
My favorite what?
Your
Story?
favorite 3408 motor story. Probably you embarrassing.
3408
Yeah,
story.
with one of those old ones. Did you ever embarrass anybody when you had one of those engines with you?
Yeah, the 3408 was always a big pile of fun. But you know, believe it or not, I used to spank more people with the 4 1/4 souped up 4 1/4s than I did the V8. But the cool thing about the V8 was that you could roll by somebody and it would sound like you got passed by a Sikorsky helicopter, and people would go, "That's got to be a V8. That thing just sounds, you know, so cool." Or people would walk over to you at the fuel island, and you know, when you had the hood up, and they were just in awe of it, you know, because I had it all goobered up, you know. But and it rolled. That thing, you know, it was funny because you'd be driving it along and it'd be empty. You'd have no weight in it, and you'd be dropping gears going up hills, and you're like, "What the hell's wrong with this thing?" And then you'd come back the other way with like 46,000 pounds in the box and just rolling up the hill. It was just like you had to get it mad for it to really work well, you know. If it had a light load, it didn't like it. It liked it better when it was loaded the snot out of it.
Turbos maybe work better with underweight or something like that, or under load.
Yeah, it just when it wasn't working, it didn't like it, and it always seemed like, you know, it wouldn't go anywhere when it wasn't loaded. Where the 4 1/4, I mean, you know, geez, that thing. Well, I've had a few of them, but the one. With the marine engine in it, that thing was stupid.
Awesome motor.
Yeah, I could I could tell stories and change the name to protect the innocent, but you know, yeah. Well, let's see here. We'll call this particular driver. I gotta think of a good name for him. We'll call him Flavio.
Okay.
Because he was a bit of a Don Juan, old Flavio, and he always had to be the king of the highway, and he would, you know, and make sure that you knew that he was the king of the highway. And this one particular trip, again, we were rolling across Wyoming, and we were just coming into Laramie there, and we wilt into the I think we went into the Pilot or whatever, it doesn't matter, the Petro or whatever, and we had dinner and this and that, and again heard about how fantastic he was, and and I was just totally in awe. He was fabulous.
I bet.
Anyway,
I bet.
So when we left, I kind of laid back. And I don't know if you were with us on that particular deal, but I laid back a bit, and I got it. You know, I got a good run at him. So just about the time he was dropping into about low range, I came up on him about 75, hammered on the engine brake, pretty much locked the trailer up beside him, and looked over at him and went, "You okay? You need some help? What's wrong with you? You all right? Okay, we'll see you later." And I just stepped on it and just pulled away. So see you in Grand Island. See you later, Flavio. You know, and his thing was, "Oh, that's not that impressive. I could have a motor like that if I wanted to." Yeah, that's you know. So that was one of my.
Well, I'm glad you changed the name to protect the innocent. I know exactly who you're talking about. But,
well, how could you not with a name like I would have called him Rico Suave, or maybe who's the other guy? Not Flavio, Fabio. Fabio,
Oh,
that's what I meant to say.
Okay, well, same
Yes.
thing, same thing.
Yes, yes.
Don't even get me started on that. Don't even get me started on that.
Oh boy, I'll tell you.
Listen, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep you, but I did want to touch base, and some of our followers think you're a mythical creature. So we wanted to get you on tape to prove to them that you really exist. So,
Oh yeah, no, I'm as real as a unicorn. I mean, yeah. Well, if they want to, I have a book signing coming up, and let me think here.
Yeah.
You just gotta look for the Lettuce King Traveling Circus. I'll be in a town near you anytime soon.
It's getting deep here now. Well, let me wrap it up, and then we're going to go off tape,
Sure.
and we can have an uninhibited conversation after that. So that was the
Okay.
Lettuce King, boys and girls.
Don't forget, drivers, if you want to pick yourself up a Lettuce King t-shirt, check below the video to pick yourself up one of these bad boys today.
Take care, keep the rubber side down, and we'll see you on the back haul.